Oh, Hasbro, my sweet, sweet summer child. What's going on, everybody? It's X-Wing. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about another one of Hasbro's crowning achievements. The last time I talked about Haslab, it was nothing but good news.
Oh, Hasbro, what are you doing?
And it would appear that this is another project from Haslab that is destined for greatness. Some of you may be wondering, what's the big deal? X, you love Sabers, you've got so many, why wouldn't you back something like this? Well, everything with the character aside, I wasn't really a huge fan of Kenobi, but that's not really the problem. There can still be really cool collectibles that can come out of a show that you don't really like, but this was not one of them. To anybody who knows anything about Sabers, we know that the Legacy Sabers and these Force Effect Sabers are probably some of the most overpriced paperweights out on the market. The electronics are absolutely garbage in there, and they've tried to say, you know, it's a NeoPixel Saber, you're gonna get smooth swing, but the bottom line is they're a subpar product.
It's a lot thicker than I thought it was gonna be.
Now, don't get me wrong, some of the hilt designs are pretty good, with a couple of really bad exceptions. Does anyone remember the Sidious Saber? Yeah! That thing looked a little bit more like something that might have been sitting in your mom's which is a real shame because I think that is still one of the coolest sabers in the Star Wars universe. But that brings us neatly along to Revas Saber. Now, don't get me wrong here. This thing looks pretty cool. The design looks okay. It doesn't look like it's as fat as a bunch of the other sabers that came out. It's dual bladed, which is great, awesome, but they are just now incorporating technology into the saber that has been on the market, widely around the market since like 2016. It's a little bit ridiculous. And beyond that, have you seen the price point of this thing? I know that Haslab has always been kind of the elite collector niche, and it's supposed to be for the people who really want to spend the money to get a top tier product. But to be honest with you, a lot of the serious collectors are probably not going to be buying stuff from the Kenobi show. Now, that could just be speculation, but I think there's a little bit of proof in the pudding here.
Nope.
I feel like this just kind of further reinforces this idea that's in my head that there's just a disconnect between whatever's going on the corporate side of Star Wars and the fans themselves. I feel like they keep pushing this stuff that people keep saying, this is not something that we want. We're the people who spend the money with you. Shouldn't you be listening to that? I could be completely mistaken, but I got a pretty good feeling I'm right. Now, the last Haslab project did fail. That was the Rancor, but I think that was just kind of a different issue altogether. People were upset with the tiers that were coming out. They weren't so upset with the product, but anytime that you have a bunch of backers coming into a Haslab project, they're expecting a little bit more on the back end. So the more backers you get, the more stuff you get with the project itself. That had like some cardboard cutouts and a couple figures that were like already carded anyways, so that was kind of an issue for a lot of people. But this is just, people just don't want it. They're just not backing it. Look at the numbers. Disney, Lucasfilm, Hasbro, whoever, you're probably not watching this, but if you were gonna take a little bit of advice from an old salty Star Wars nerd, maybe don't always scroll right past those basement nerds like you and I on Twitter and actually read the comment and give some thought to it. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I will see you on the next one.